Oh, good.
Okay. First thing I usually need to ask. I You've sort of answered this, I think, before, but just so I have like a clearer memory. Have you been diagnosed with, or do you suspect you have any mental conditions, and are you in a different mood than usual? Or is there anything else the type should know about your current state?
Yeah, I mean, I've been diagnosed with ADHD and ASD, so high functioning autism. I mean, mental state is pretty much the same as always.
Okay. Um, Good to know. Sorry, 1 second. I'm just checking something. Alright, perfect. Okay, yeah, that's good to know. What do you look for in friendships, and what do you typically talk about or do with your friends?
I mean, generally, it's just if they have something in common. So if it's interest based or if it's just someone who like goes to the same class or something like that. Generally, I don't look for something in particular. Just whoever clicks, then that will be my friend, I guess. But I don't really have close friends. So and the ones I have close are people who are, like seem that they care. But if I talk to people, it's just some people who have the same interests. So I can gain something from them, and hopefully they can gain something from me.
Okay. That makes sense. Do you work or study? If so, where do you work or what do you study?
So I'm between studies right now. So I'm working as a cashier at a supermarket. So it's just doing chill work basically for me. Like I just take care of customers and do the put stuff on shelves. But I'm going to go study again now. So that's probably going to be programming. But I've been in space engineering and chemical engineering before.
Okay. Well, how did you choose that path exactly?
Interesting. So space engineering was just because I was interested in like space, I guess physics, and then space makes sense because I like sci-fi. So I'm like, oh, let's go with that. And when that didn't work out, I just took a look and like, then medicine might make sense. So I went for chemical engineering, and now I was like, when I was thinking this time, it was more like, I want to work with psychology. But then someone told me like, you should look at which skills you have and what could fit you. And then I was like, so you mean I have to spend time thinking? That's not good. So then I took a while, and now I'm like, okay, programming makes sense because I've always been into computers and had a quite easy time when I was trying to learn it. And I forgot
Okay.
the first question, so yeah, I hope I answered it.
Yeah, it's alright. Where is the thing? Okay. Sorry. What are your main hobbies or interests, and what do you like about them?
Wait, can you repeat the first?
What are your main hobbies or interests?
I mean, video games is one, definitely. And as of now, it's like psychology, I guess. It's pretty wide in it. It's like personality types is one part, and then others like how habits and different psychological concepts, like how it manifests outside. So for me, who has a hard time like structurizing what I'm doing, it's like, how do I change how I think so that having a schedule isn't so daunting? It's like, how is having 50% schedule and then 50% free time better than having 100% free time and 0% schedule? So I'm trying to like understand how it's like, how can I make my life work while still feeling free? So I'm trying to learn a lot about that. But I guess sometimes I also have to put it into work, but haven't gotten there yet.
Okay,
Then,
that's interesting.
outside of that, it's like, I like to swim, basically. I don't really do a lot of things. If I find one thing fun, then I will do that until I'm bored of that and then jump to the next thing.
Okay. Do you have any significant other, or have you had one? If so, compare yourself with them. How are you different?
I would say that I haven't. It's never been a focus. Like, I feel like having a significant other would set me back even further. It's like having to spend time on someone else. I want to do my own stuff. So yeah, I would say I haven't had one.
Okay. Good to know. How easy is it for you to feel relaxed? What do you do to relax?
I would say there's two ways to relax. I would never say that I'm fully relaxed, like tension-wise. But if I just want to stop my mind, it's like play video games. Get as much information in as possible so that I don't think of other stuff, and that makes me relax. And that's also, I guess, same with just researching in general. Sitting in Discord and just talking to people, so it's always being focused on something.
Okay.
And that's my way of relaxing, so I don't know.
How physically active are you and why? That's sort of related to that, but
I mean, my work forces me to be, right? But in general, outside of work, I'm not physical at all. I was physical as a kid, but then it's just like stuff started happening, and I just lost the motivation to be physical active, I guess.
okay. What do you think that you're best at? When you receive compliments or praise, what do they tend to be about?
I guess it's like helping people in general. It's like I'm always gonna like be there if people need me, but most of the stuff they ask me for is like helping with like driving delivery or like building PCs or something in video games. But yeah, I guess like building PCs or video games would be the main thing.
I see. How are responsibilities distributed between yourself and your family or housemates if you live with any? Do you like to cook?
I would prefer not to if I didn't have to. Like, it's kind of a criteria to survive. But I would say like mostly it's my mother at the time, since I live at her place. But if I live alone, I mean, then I have to do everything. Even though not everything get done, but in general, I try to help as much as possible, since I'm trying to get like I said, I'm trying to get a 50% set schedule and 50% freedom. So it's like I'm actively trying to
Yeah.
get better at it.
I see. Um, does your sense of morality ever deviate from what is normally accepted as moral? If so, how?
I guess that it does, but I don't actively think about it. It's just that some things that are morally right for me, it's just not morally right for others. Like viewpoints on certain stuff. Like I don't see why someone would instantly become negative to something before having both sides of the story. So you have a lot of like accusations for people today, and everyone's just canceling them instantly. And I can't see why someone would do that, because it's just they don't know both sides, and they don't know if what they actually told is true.
So you'd say that you're opposed to outrage culture today?
Wait, what was that word?
So you'd say that you're opposed to outrage culture today? In general?
Yeah, I would guess that's the word. Yeah.
I've
I don't really
heard
know
it
what
referred to that way.
Okay, so yeah, then probably yes. Sure.
Yeah. I don't know.
A cancel culture is the way I've heard it, but yeah.
Well, that's another aspect of it that I've heard. I just was like moving I was zooming out from specifically canceling people.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Then definitely, yeah. It's not the only way that it's shown, but it's one of the ones.
Yeah, I know what you mean.
Yeah.
How strong are your emotions? When your mood changes, is it for an observable reason or is it seemingly random?
I guess it's random. Oh wait, what was the first one? Like for a reason?
Yeah, is it for an observable reason or is it seemingly random?
Yeah, I don't really know what the first one means, so I would say the second one.
Like, if your mood changes significantly, does it tend to be for a reason that you are consciously aware of, or does your mood variations seem to be random and unexpected?
I mean, I would know why after, but I guess it's random at the time.
Okay. That works. When do you feel the most happy and at peace?
I think just doing stuff. I guess just talking to people, reading about stuff, watching YouTube. Basically anything that makes me do something is when I'm at the most peace.
Okay. The whole world is united under a single world government. It is ruled autocratically. That ruler is you. What's your plan?
I would probably put it as it is now, but have full control of which rules are put down. So I will keep the structure that's where I live, so Sweden, and keep it at a not fully democratic and not fully socialism. So it's like in the middle, and basically keep it there. I'm fine with how it is today, basically, and remove Swedish. Oh, obviously, have only one language in the world will be the first one.
That's interesting. What kind of sports do you play? You sort of mentioned this. And what are your achievements in sports, if you have any?
Oh, I mean, I played when I was younger. I played football, floorball. I did what is it called? We like long jump and high jump. So I played that quite a bit, and like it wasn't like big achievements. It's just like we played tournaments with the team until we were like till I was 15, 16, and the general team where I come from is very good, so we like won the most of the things. It's like nothing big, I would say. My achievements is probably scoring goals, but I was a like defender, so it's doesn't really. There
Yeah,
wasn't that
not
many
really,
goals as a defender.
not really high priority.
Yeah.
Okay. Do you often keep things clean, and is this important to you? How strictly do you organize your possessions and living space, and is this important to you?
Yeah, no, not really. I guess it's important, but not important enough that I would do it. So it's very, very cluttery. It's like you have a book and something here, and you have some crap over there. You have food from today over there. It's like, yeah, it's not clean. Not in my terms, what would be clean.
Okay. Let's see. Okay. Have you ever led people? If so, how many and what was the situation? Describe your leadership style, such as authoritarian, tough, soft, consensus building, etc.
I mean, the only times I've led is like playing World of Warcraft or something like that. It's like, it's quite authoritarian unless it shows to not work. And then I will take the other people's opinions. But it's like, in general, I would have done the research before, so I know what to do. And if it's new content that we haven't tried, then obviously I won't know everything. So then I will have officers to help me. I haven't led that often. It's like I have had 2 guilds in, what is it, like 10 years time?
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
How do you behave in unfamiliar company? Do you immediately enter into a conversation, look around for a while, wait until someone approaches you, etc.?
Oh, I wait until someone approaches me. Like, generally for the fact that I don't really care to talk to anyone. I'm fine just being there.
Okay.
But if that looks weird to them, then I would obviously try to get into the group in some way. But if they don't notice me, then it's fine.
All right. Are you quick-tempered? If so, in what cases?
No, I don't think so. I don't know what time would have been like angry or in that way since like childhood or maybe early high school. I think it's even further back than that, yeah.
Okay. What were you like as a kid? Did any moments or aspects of your personality at the time stand out to you?
I guess unconcentrated because ADHD. Other than that, it's like I enjoyed doing a lot of stuff. So like just sitting still on the recess wasn't good enough. We had to at least walk around or like go play football or something like that, so that we just didn't sit still. Otherwise, it's like I was quiet. I don't think I stood out very much though. It's like I was always there, and I was trying to make sure that I wasn't alone, but I didn't care who was with me. And then I got adopted by the popular kids, and then it went fine.
Okay. Does anyone watching have anything they'd like to ask that might be helpful? I'll wait for just a moment to end.
Absolutely.
I can tell you that we're definitely down to 2 different types at least.
Interesting.
Right. Okay, then. I will try to figure out something else to ask.
Yep.
If there's anything else you'd like to say in the meantime, by all means, go ahead.
Yeah. I'm not sure. The only thing I remember from the past is like stuff that's been told to me. So I'm like, I enjoy talking during movies. That I got good for.
That's interesting.
I guess otherwise it's like not much really. It's just going with the flow of what everyone else is doing and just minding my own business.
Okay. Do you tend to be punctual?
Not really. I mean, no. I guess I'm always early. Unless it's schoolwork, because then I'm always late or like procrastinating until it's almost the end of it. But if I need to be somewhere, I'm always going to be 30 minutes early to make sure that I'm not late.
I see. That's interesting.
I mean, the reason why it though is because I was always late as a kid, so I had to compensate.
Yeah. Would you describe yourself as absent-minded? In a lot of cases.
I think it depends a lot. It's like generally I'm very aware of stuff. Like if stuff happens, then I notice it. But I can also be in my own mind, but I will still half actively notice what's happening around. Less so now that I got medicine, but before it was like 50-50. I was always noticing what's happening, but always half not there as well. Now I guess I'm more able to pull my mind away from the absent-minded, I guess.
Okay. How do you react if your relationship with someone does not work out? And what do you do if your friends quarrel with you?
Quarrel? Like that it doesn't work, or
If they like argue with you, I guess.
oh, okay.
Or confront you.
I mean, I would like to know on what basis, and if they like take offense of me in some way, I would like to fix it, I guess. But it's like, if it's who I am, then it's who I am. I can't really change the base of who I am for them. But I don't. Yeah, if that happens, it's like, it's not that I can probably change at the time. So it's either they deal with the fact that it happened, or they decide to walk away.
How
unless it
accurate
was actually my problem.
is this? If emotions are negative, then he responds to them only if he considers them valid and reasonable. Otherwise, he distances and tries to extinguish them by logical analysis.
Yeah, that sounds right. Yeah.
Interesting. Okay. Yeah, that's interesting. I don't know if I asked you this, but what do you think of conspiracy theories? Which do you believe in, if any?
I have a hard time believing in any of them. It's like I can consider them and like look at where they come from with it, but it's like most of it is so far-fetched that it's not something I would consider. Like for example, like flat Earth, or like someone did 9/11 or some similar stuff to that. I mean, there's other stuff that probably more likely. Which ones I can't pull one out of my head right now, but like I would generally think them. Like if someone tells me one, I will think of it and like determine if it actually makes sense or not.
Okay. In what areas of life do you tend to be detail-oriented, if any, and in which do you tend not to be? If that's a question you're able to answer.
I'm detail-oriented when stuff aren't where they're supposed to be, if that makes sense. So it's like if structure isn't the way it should be outside of my own, like what I make, then I notice it, and that's very annoying. But otherwise, I'm mostly like big picture, I guess. I don't really know the difference between them because they go together.
Yeah, that makes sense. Trying to figure out how to distinguish. God, we burned through all of the main questions I usually have.
I mean, I have not been able to get it close. Like, I got it down to 2 different types before, but I haven't managed further.
That sounds about right. Have you been in any emergency or crisis situations before?
Like, not life-threatening, I would say. Like, like where I work, we have open to like 23, so 11 p.m. And the like most stressful thing that happened there was like someone came in saying that some people are gonna like kill him because he punched their car. So we just put them in the back of the store where they couldn't reach them and call the cops. I guess that's the most threatening situation I've been in.
Okay. Yeah, never mind then. When you give advice to others, if you do that often or at least sometimes, how do you tend to do that?
How didn't? I mean, I'll
Is
just give the
there
answer
is
I
there
have.
anything? Sorry, go on.
I'll just give the answer I have. So, like, if they talk about something or have a problem, then I will say what I know about it. Also, if I don't know about it, but I know stuff that could be about it. So, I mean, it happens quite a lot. Like, people just say some randomized problem that they have, and for some reason, I seem to know the answer, but there's no real like fact behind it. It should be like this, and this should be the answer.
I guess what I'm specifically trying to get at is, do you tend to do this by suggesting new possibilities to them or by closing them off?
I guess that depends on the question.
Yeah, that's fair.
I mean, if someone says that I have a problem with my leg, I will obviously name everything that I know that could cause it, and then remove everything that of those that doesn't make sense.
Okay.
Is there some specific part that's weird?
There are a few things, but I'm trying to figure out how I could reconcile this.
Yeah.
Usually I figure it out eventually. Um, yeah. Yeah. Oh, that's that might be a good question. To what extent do you find that oh, where do you come from, by the way?
Oh, I'm from Sweden. Yeah.
Oh yeah, you did mention that, didn't you? To what extent, if at all, do you find that occasional emotional agitation can be helpful for you?
I mean, most of the time that it happens, it's quite useful because then you know what's causing it usually, because it's connected to something, even if I don't know what it is. But I know what to attack when it happens.
I see. Um, Do you find it helpful only in that sense, or also as a motivator?
No, I don't think that's a motivator.
Okay, that's good to know. I see. How accurate would you say it is that you are better at advising others and preventing them from making mistakes than you are at applying that to yourself?
100% maybe, at least 95.
Okay.
I would go into the same errors that I tell others not to.
Do you have an example of that by any chance?
Narrowing down universities, basically. That's the first thing. Like courses, like I can easily find out what fits other people, but then they tell me like, "Oh, so what are you gonna study?" And I will have no clue, and I will not be able to narrow it down because everything is interesting.
Okay, that's good to know. Sorry, one moment.
It's fine.
Do you enjoy debates and similarly like somewhat emotionally charged but logically based discussions with other people? Is that something you derive enjoyment from?
Yeah, I guess so. It's probably emotionally based on their part.
Right.
It's fun to see where they come from because I can't see why they would think in such a way, so it's fun to like poke at it to see why would they even think of it this way. And usually, I mean, it makes sense in the end why they think of it, but I would still agree that it's not the right way.
Okay. I see. Yeah, I'm a bit 50-50 on this. I see why it was difficult for you.
Yeah.
Um, like there are usually a few primary markers that distinguish them, but you're a bit even on those as well.
It's going to be interesting if one of them is not the one I usually get, then I would probably narrow it down,
Yeah,
though.
yeah.
But I have a sense that it's going to be one of those two, because like the questions asked tend to indicate that.
I mean, it's likely related to. I'm sure there's some sort of subtype where extended profile influence, but
Yeah. I mean, I've looked at it through other systems as well. So like objective personality is one, because it kind of attacked that thing that I'm like weird about, because since usually it stands between NET or TIN, and since I'm not extroverted, then NET makes little sense. But with their animal system, then I would be consume, sleep, play, blast, or blast, play. I'm not sure. So it would be more introverted than a normal extrovert. Or
how do you define extroversion?
I would just say that. So I don't like MBTIs with like how much you enjoy spending time with others or the energy levels you get from it, because for me the energy level is the same if I'm alone or if I'm with people. It just wouldn't change that much. But it's more like, what do you actively do, or like what do you actively do without thinking of it? So it's like I always like look for things where there's possibility to do something. But it's also when I take in that, then I also want to work at it. But it's always actively looking at everything, which is why I feel like I'm 50% always aware of what's happening, but also 50% working inside.
I see.
So it's very hard.
I mean, how high would you say that your mental and physical energy level is, and how much would you say that it varies?
The mental and physical energy? Like
Yeah.
how those compare to each other?
No, just as a collective.
I mean, I would probably put more onto mental energy than physical, definitely. Like,
Well,
if I wouldn't need to use physical energy, then I would be fine. I mean, if it's there, I don't know.
I guess what I'm asking is how high your energy level is in general. Use mental and physical as subsets of it, but I'm not asking for a comparison. I'm asking for the total.
Okay. I would say it's lower than average. That's something. Like, I can only compare to people I know, right? So it's lower than theirs.
I see. Okay. And how much would you say it varies over like time? I guess, like for example, throughout the course of a day.
It's the same.
Oh,
like the energy is just the same. Unless I put very heavy strain on one of them, then, or like on the energy, then obviously it's gonna go down. But it's like, it will go down just as much if I do physical or if I do mental.
Okay. So, for example, you would say that you get like okay, Yeah, in that case,
I mean, actually, probably physical drains faster, no? If that's something.
yeah, that's not surprising. Okay, I think that you are, well, I'm trying to figure out subtype as well.
Okay.
But as I might have mentioned before, it's hard to tell using this medium. I think that you are TIN, and I think that you are probably, although I can't be sure, either recombining or stabilizing.
What's the first one?
The first what?
Recombining.
Oh, it's somewhat similar, although it's not a one-to-one correspondence with creative and DCNH. And especially because it's sort of related to consumption of information from many different sources and creating new approaches as a result. But the thing is that beta recombining and sometimes gamma recombining can end up being typed as dominant.
Interesting.
Yeah.
I mean, I've been typed as gamma before.
Really?
That's anything. Yeah.
Which type specifically?
I also reading that is like what is like specific for a gamma, then it somewhat makes sense. Like I can see a lot of it, but yeah. Which type? I think it was INFP. So INFJ in socionics.
I don't think that's considered gamma.
Isn't it gamma? Or am I lost?
I think that's delta. The gamma types are SEF, TEN, NIT, and FIS.
That's true. So it's not gamma then that I was thinking. Okay, so scratch that.
But I will point out that I wasn't talking about the quadra of the type itself. I was talking about the quadra of the subtype.
That I don't know anything about, so I will not
yeah, I need to write an article on it. A lot of people seem to be waiting for that. Since I haven't revealed much info on this. But yeah, I think that you are probably TIN, although it was a bit difficult to tell at first. I mean, you are pretty obviously logical or ethical. And I saw a lot of evidence at the beginning of maximum energy TI and minimum energy FI. And now that I think about it, I saw
You're
the
cutting
NE.
out. What?
Oh, really?
Okay, you're fine. You're fine.
Okay. Now that I think about it, I did see a lot of NE, but it was more in the demonstrative sense or creative in Model A. Than in it literally dominating your a psyche or becoming your identity. And I don't see your logic as being contact. I see it as more of a management role.
You're gone again. So,
is it?
I think it's fine now. It's very blurry, but yeah.
I don't know. Yeah, I think the overall structure of TIN makes more sense. And this is a bit weird.
I would probably say it myself.
Yeah, and this is a bit weird since
you wouldn't be able to
VI
track
is
each other.
more unreliable, but even your facial structure is more suggestive of TIN. Or it's more consistent with those with representatives of that height, which I'm not using as evidence, but it's just an observation.
Yeah, obviously.
Um,
I mean, what I've understood is also like I can notice NE, but I would never notice TI, if that makes sense. Just automatic.
Okay. Yeah. I can see that fitting. Although I will say that I'm not entirely sure. I'm maybe 80% sure. So if you want, there's always the possibility of a follow-up at some point to verify, but that's up to you.
Oh, sure. If I'm still interested.
Okay. Yeah, that's fair enough. Is there anything you want to know in particular, or any questions you have?
I mean, basically information on subtypes, because I know nothing about it, so that's what I'm interested about.
I will get to that in general soon. If you have any specific questions on it, then go ahead.
I mean, I'm fine with waiting. It's just this.
Okay.
All the information is what I want, so I can understand it. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I'll get to that pretty soon.
Yeah, and otherwise, I'm happy with it. Yeah.
Okay, that's good. I will let you go then.
Yes. I mean, thank you. Bye.
Yeah.